What's up, everyone? Today we're going to talk about how much protein we should intake in one sit down. My opinion, what has worked for me since I started my fitness journey, what I have been doing for my clients that's been working great. So this is my opinion. A lot of people will probably have their point of view or whatever research they've done. And at the end of the day, a lot of people, results is what's going to matter. I've been proving it time and time again with my clients, not only them, myself. And but my opinion on that, because a lot of people have this misunderstanding with protein, carbs, and fat. They're all over the place. But let's talk about protein. That's what we were trying to talk about, because that's what we need if we're trying to build muscle, if we're trying to stay healthy. You cannot survive without protein. You need source of protein, which is, whether it's animal source protein or, people that are vegan, they're still going to have to implement some kind of protein to the body, or else they ain't going to survive. They ain't going to thrive. And so, the way I structure it for my clients is always, want them to have 5 meals. Why? Because they've been eating like, undisciplined, like crap throughout their life. So we have to have something structured. We need structure when we want to seek a journey of any kind, whether it's fitness, nutrition, business. You have to have something structured. You can't just throw it up in the air and hope for it to work. So that's why the 5 meals are important. Why? Because we want to feed you throughout the day so you could be more disciplined, so you could break your meals evenly. I usually do the math for them. And I always recommend, 35 up to 40 grams of protein per sit down. Why? Because we want them to start knowing how much, their plate should be looking like. Wherever they go, you start learning, you start, programming your mind. Okay, you know what? This is what 35 grams, 40 grams of protein looks like. For females, it's different. It's less. So it's different from female and male. Females are always they'll eat less. So 25 grams of protein is good. 20 grams, they could get away with. But, for most men, especially if they're active, we will want you to have 35 to 40 grams. Now, a lot of people have 50. Some people have 60. There, you would have to do their research. You would have to dig deeper. Why are they intaking that much amount of protein? A lot of times, they're trying to catch up, or, they're behind, and, they want to have 2 meals in one. You don't know. You can't just follow somebody's idea without asking questions, without, seeking more information about what you're trying to do, or if you're trying to copy that person. So that's how I structure the meals. And a lot of times research have, said, and a lot of people will contradict each other back and forth, even among scientists, even amongst, what they call the bro science, what they call the bodybuilders, what they experience. Bro science is something that somebody is experiencing and actually brings it to a table. Hey, this worked for me. This is what I do. And a lot of people, they don't understand. They have debunked what science said. They have, went against the grain of what science has said to do, or what they tell you or they suggest for you to do. So there's a lot of people that they experiment within themselves. So a lot of times, to me, it's always looking at that individual. If he has the look that I want, if he has the aesthetics that I want, if he has the results that I want, then I'm going to ask him. It's a no-brainer. You would want to ask somebody that actually, looks like you would want to look. Why would I go to this person that all of a sudden he's so knowledgeable, he's so much filled with information, but obviously he hasn't applied it. He don't look the part. So it might be true. It might be, he might be right, but I don't believe it. I got to see it. I got to see you actually, do the work that you're talking about, or do what you're speaking about, and see the results speak for themselves. So that's exactly what I want you guys to pay attention. Whenever you guys hear someone talk about, X amount of protein intake, X amount of carbs, X amount of fat, ask why. Don't just go here Don't just go ahead and start doing, like monkey see, monkey do. And a lot of us do that. I did that myself for a lot of years. I just went by what they said, and I was like, okay, surface level, where you just, watch someone do something, and then you just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do the same thing, without even asking, without even doing more of your research about it, of why is he doing that. But like I said, right here is, what I know it worked for me, and it's working for a lot of my clients. It's breaking down the meals evenly. They always ask, oh, what's more important, 3 meals, 5 meals, 6 meals? Is it that big of a difference? It really, there's no need to split hairs here, but we want something structured. Is 4 meals better than 5? Maybe not. I don't think so. Is 6 better than 5? I don't know. I don't think so. A lot of times there's different, approaches of why they're having 6 meals. Why were they able to break, their 5 meals and now they're doing 6 or 7? Sometimes it's as simple as, if they're not trying to feel hungry, or they're the individual that feels hungry, eating throughout the day, it keeps you less feeling hungry. It keeps you more full, not necessarily like you have to go load up and eat a large amount of food in one sit down, which that for a fact, I know that the body's not going to absorb all that food at one time. The body's only going to intake so much. The rest is going to go to waste, or store as fat. That's just been proven. There is no way that you could just eat bowls and bowls in one sit down and think that it's all going to go into where it needs to go, feeding the muscle, feeding the body, the nutrients that it needs. No, you will overconsume. The body will plateau, it'll flat out, and the rest will just be waste, or like I said, be stored as fat. So when it comes to protein, like I said, the research that I done, the studies that I done, I done it on myself, I done it on my clients, and like I said, we don't go more than 35, 40 grams of protein per serving, and then from there, it all depends. It all depends what your macros are at the end of the day. Because, 40 might be a lot for an individual that's not even that big, or doesn't have that, that muscular physique. Why would you want to feed protein, to fat, or, you just want to waste protein? Protein's expensive. You wouldn't want to overeat protein either and just waste it, knowing that the body doesn't really need it. So it's just more than just, surface level. A lot of times, that's why, a coach, a mentor is so important, because they'll get to break it down specifically for you. And that's what I do here. There's a lot of, individuals that come in. I'm like, well, you don't need that much food. That's too much for you. Like you're over consuming on everything, protein, carbs, and fat. No, we got to tone it down, and this is going to be your amount. Like I said, there's different goals for everybody too. A lot of people, they want to maintain, they just want to gain some lean muscle, drop a little bit of fat. There's other people that want to build more. There's a lot of my team members that are young. They want to, build as much as possible naturally, and we could do that, but they still got to eat in a structured manner. I've proven it here when I get a lot of skinny fat guys that come in here. It's what they call them, heart gainers. They're skinny, they're not fat, but they just can gain size. They can gain muscle. Well, they're not having enough protein, the right amount of carbs, and the right amount of fat. So it's about knowing and comprehending what you're doing so you could get the results that you want. So you could optimize every nutrient that you're intaking in the body. It's very important to know. Like I said, macronutrients is the only way to, get rid of the fat and start building that muscle. There's a ratio that everybody, macro ratio that everybody needs, to start, on going after that specific goal that you want, whether it's gaining, whether it's losing. Like I said, a lot of people don't know. They keep spinning their wheels, or they'll just see someone doing something and they'll want to copy him exactly, not knowing the history about it or digging deeper on why is he doing that. Let's pay attention, be more smarter, on your approach. Let's run it.